Hey, what is up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher from We Are Film, and today we're going to talk about FilmConvert, so let's get into it. What is up guys? So I have some housekeeping first. First I want to talk about our brand new Patreon page. Now the Patreon page has two tiers. They're $1 and $5. It can kind of help replace some of our other income so we can start working on more videos more often. So I really do appreciate you guys check that out. And again, if you can give, that's awesome. If not, don't worry about it. Content's always free. I'm going to be sure to link that down in the description below, but also be sure to subscribe to our We Are Film podcast. We're going to be doing some cool episodes coming up, interviewing some very interesting people. You're going to be very excited for that. So again, if you're on Spotify or iTunes, down below, links down there. So today we were talking about FilmConvert, but before we get into that, don't worry, it's quick. I'm actually going to be giving away a free copy of FilmConvert to you, our subscribers. So all you have to do is be a subscriber, and all you have to do is comment down below on the video. Let us know why you want FilmConvert and what you're going to do with it. So anyone who is a subscriber and comments down below, you're going to be entered automatically to win that FilmConvert. And again, that is the full FilmConvert bundle. So that works with Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro X, and or DaVinci Resolve, After Effects, anything it can work in. So if you're not familiar with FilmConvert, FilmConvert is pretty much the OG of sort of film color grading and film emulation. FilmConvert has been around for a long time, and really what their key thing is emulating film stocks. So the idea is that you have your camera, you shoot in whatever you shoot in, and you want to emulate what a motion picture film or photography film looks like when it comes to both grain and the actual color and look of it. So FilmConvert has done extensive testing on how to make sure that those look as best they can. And one of the first things you want to do when actually downloading FilmConvert is go to their website and actually download whatever camera pack you have. So if you're shooting on a GH5 or a C200 or whatever camera you're shooting on, even an iPhone, you can download the pack which allows you to emulate that perfectly. And also the best part is it's not just for log, it's also for different color profiles inside of the camera. So like in the GH5's case, Cine D, Vlog, all that kind of stuff. So FilmConvert works with any editing platform, so if you want to use DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro X, you can easily install that. Again, it has an easy installer and you're good to go. So the next thing you want to do is go to your effects controls or your effects tabs, wherever that may be in your program, and then add that to your clip. Now, instantly when it goes on there, you're going to notice that it does not look good, and that's because you haven't picked your camera profile yet. When you go to your effects controls, you can see FilmConvert 2.0, and in that case, you're going to go to your first little panel there, which is the camera settings. So in my case, I have a wedding clip, and I shot this on my GH5, so I'm going to click on the Panasonic GH5, and then go to Vlog, and again, you can see that we can do any of those other ones, and boom, there we go. Now, instantly, it looks much better. So the first thing you're going to see there is actually your exposure and your temperature controls. Now, one thing that I really love about these is these work incredibly well with raw footage. So when you're changing that white balance and exposure, it is actually doing it at the base level of the actual, clip, whatever the codec may be, not just adding exposure or subtracting exposure on top where you're just clipping and stuff like that. So again, you can adjust the exposure or the white balance, whatever you want. Now, the next thing is going to be actually picking the film stock. Now, there are 19 different film stocks built into FilmConvert. And one of the awesome things is they not only have motion picture film, but also still photography films, black and white films, and a couple different weird creative looks. Now this of course is up to your personal taste, whatever you think looks best. For most things that I'm doing, I'm sticking with the actual motion picture film, the first four. But of course, if you were doing black and white or you wanted to emulate a different type of look, again, this is totally up to you. There's so many different options and they really all do look just so good. You can tell the accuracy in the colors and just everything in general, it just looks very different from adding a LUT on top of it or something like that. Now these next two controls I don't use too often, but they're really just the opacity or the curve of it, and then it's kind of like a fading effect. So I don't really use those too much. But then after that, one of the most important things to do is actually to select the type of film that you want to emulate. Now for me, the Super 16 and below gets a little bit intense for my liking, so typically I like to stick around the 35/3 perf and above. But again, you can pick whatever you want, but this also is going to change the grain difference that you have. So I'm going to use the Super 35, and you can see when we add that grain in, it is just so nice. The grain looks so good, especially with that film conversion, having that look that looks like film, the grain is like film. You can just really see all of the time and effort that FilmConvert has done, putting into the R&D to make sure that the actual film emulation, both in the grain and colors, looks super accurate because they are awesome. And these are 6K scans too, so they are very, very high resolution. So if you are shooting with really high resolution footage, you can be assured that that grain is gonna look good on that. You picked your film stock and your sensor size in a way, and then you picked your grain, the amount of it. I mean, the FilmConvert just looks awesome. You can see the Vlog versus the actual FilmConvert on there. I mean, it's just amazing. But there's more we can do. There's actually a lot of color correction controls below this. There's saturation, so of course you can just change the saturation, whether you want it to be more faded or have a more, vibrant kind of maybe technicolorish look in a way. There's also your shadows, midtones, and highlights, your lift, gamma, gain. There's a couple different controls underneath them, but I don't particularly use those too often. But again, you can go in and adjust your shadows, your midtones, your highlights, and at the bottom you can change your black point, your midpoint, and your white point. I'm not using these controls as often. I'm usually using the lift, gamma, gain, but again, those are there if you need them. And lastly, one of my favorite things about FilmConvert is the ability to export 3D LUTs. Let's say you had several different cameras, you can actually go in, select each profile, create your LUT, export it, and then you can monitor both of those cameras with both of those LUTs. Now the great part is that it's going to match those, so that way you can be monitoring a C200 and a GH5 with the same Kodak Vision 3 maybe LUT on there, and again it's going to match both of those camera profiles. It's not going to be a generic one that would not look exactly the same between them. So if you're using high resolution footage, I recommend exporting the 64 feature, but again other ones can do 32 or lower. Typically I like to keep it 32 and above. So it sounds like I'm gushing over FilmConvert, and that's because I am. Now I have nothing to do with FilmConvert. They did send me this for free, and they are of course giving us a free one to give away, but I have no affiliation with them. They're not a sponsor. This is one of those programs that I see myself using quite often. I hate using the word cinematic look, but it is true. You're getting that true film look, and again adding that subtlety of grain, things like that looks so much nicer. One of my favorite things about this is you can actually add the effect before or after other color plugins. So for instance, if you want to do a Lumetri color panel in Premiere Pro, you can add this after, so you can do your basic corrections and then add FilmConvert. Same with DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro X. Any of those softwares, you can add this before or after effects. That makes it super versatile, so you're not just tacking things on top of each other. So if you have a very specific workflow for maybe whatever you're doing, you can still do that workflow and then add FilmConvert within that, and again, get that really nice film look when it comes to all your footage. I totally recommend FilmConvert, but again, if you want to get a free copy, be sure to subscribe and then comment down below, and we're going to be picking that winner very soon, probably about 2 to 3 weeks. We'll let the winner know, and then boom, you'll have your own free copy. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to visit that Patreon down below. Again, if you want to give to us, that's really helpful, and again, it kind of helps us do some cool stuff in the future. Also, be sure to subscribe to that We Are Film podcast now. We got some more episodes coming soon. Very excited for that. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.